As the prophet of esports, I rely on trustworthy and meaningful data every day. Data from our research partner YouGov offers the most complete view of esports fans and gamers in the world, providing context to who they are, what they think, the brands they buy, and things they do. YouGov's connected insights and research services inform strategy at every level. If you're a team, a brand, agency, or rights holder, you should be talking with YouGov. Their partners measure and maximize ROI and are telling compelling stories with data. Visit yougov.com/gaming-esports to learn more. Actually, let's talk about this. This one's interesting. It's a Tencent story, but not the one you would think. But it's a good segue from Canadian stuff. Oops, that's not the screen I wanted to share. There we go. So here the headline is, check out the slick esports coffee shop Tim Hortons and Tencent just opened in Shenzhen, China. So esports, obviously, up until the 3-hour-a-week thing, big deal in China. But Tim Hortons, in collaboration with Tencent, just opened a state-of-the-art esports facility in Shenzhen. Maybe not the best timing. The coffee shop will have esports-themed food and drink items that they can buy in between matches of CSGO, League of Legends, etc. It's a joint venture between Tencent and fast food chain Tim Hortons. They can watch esports tournaments, watch content creators. There are some pictures here of the restaurant, which are actually really cool. I don't know if you guys can see them here.
Yeah, we can.
Tim's X Tencent.
Is that an airport? It really looks like an airport.
And so this is inside the Tim Hortons. For those who are not Canadian, Tim Hortons is,
Dunkin' Donuts.
the Dunkin' Donuts of Canada, but has far more cultural significance in Canada, at least. It is very quintessentially Canadian.
So this is just themed, though. There's no PCs inside or games.
No, there are.
Okay.
There are. You can play. There's an actual LAN center.
Oh, so I saw these chairs. I just thought you get to sit in the chair.
Didn't look like there was
cool.
computer.
Maybe
out.
not
They
in
must
that
be
picture, but the article did mention that there were. The article did mention.
Sorry, this could be like the hottest 18 and up after hours spot, right? If it's banned for all these kids, and now we have like this awesome adult LAN center. I was just thinking, like, how do you pivot from that? Like
The equivalent of Prohibition era speakeasies are like Tim Hortons LAN centers in China. Supposedly, it says it's the first of many locations they're planning on rolling out. I mean, I don't know. It's obviously kind of a silly story, but it is interesting, especially in the context of the sort of the regulations around 3 hours. Have they maybe looked at YouGov data and decided that most coffee drinkers are 18 plus, and therefore this makes a lot of sense? I don't know.
That seems likely. I understand. I don't really necessarily understand this for Tim Hortons, to be honest, outside of it being like a little bit of a gimmick.
And why in China, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's knowing. Maybe Tim Hortons probably just licensed their name to someone in China, or no, who knows? Maybe it's not even Tim Hortons. Maybe it's just some guy. This is China for crying out loud. It could be just some guy throwing up Tim Hortons on a sign, and Tim Hortons in Canada has nothing to do with it. Realistically, that's actually possible. But for me, the LAN center coffee shop thing just doesn't make sense, because coffee shops are typically pretty habitual in out. Like, I know Starbucks, invented sort of the third place, and people do pre-COVID like go to study there and sort of hang out there a little bit. But like generally the best performing coffee shops are kind of like in and out, high throughput, low cost, like in a good area, like small shop kind of thing. So I just don't know like why they necessarily why people would want to go game in a coffee shop.
Well, there's an obsession with American culture, right? And I think, William, you probably have more experience with understanding those barriers. But I always thought, obsession might be the wrong word. There's a fond appreciation and a strong, I think, appeal of American culture in those regions.
So they should have put a damn McDonald's in, Jimmy.
Yeah,
we don't have Tim Hortons.
This is not American culture at all.
It's maybe it extends North American. I don't know. I'm just trying to.
I mean, there's a massive population in Canada of Chinese, right? Who who go there to park dollars in real estate. You know, it's safe. The schools are good. You know, the whole bit. So that there's a huge Chinese population in like places like Vancouver and Toronto. Could it be that, you know, they know people when they go back home, they'll be hankering for, you know, a Tim's double, like, and therefore this is how you capture them? I don't know.
I think you pair this with an esports team, you make regular appearances, autographs, ticketed events or signings, and I don't know, there's something fun there.
Why not do? Let me ask this question. Sorry to stay on this, but I'm fascinated by it. If Enthusiast Gaming announced we're gonna do, you know, Tim Hortons esports LAN centers in Canada, right? Would anyone even think twice about, like, this is such a great idea? Would anyone question it?
I'm
no,
sold.
probably. I mean, less so. I wouldn't. I probably would say sort of the same thing about why it has to be with Tim Hortons. But I mean, if Tim Hortons was putting up the capital or whatever, then maybe it would make sense as a deal. But
well, like Paul said, it's in Canada.
But it's also like it's more equivalent to a Starbucks in the sense that people go to sit at a Tim Hortons, right? Like it's not always in and out. They are pretty pleasant places to sit and have a sandwich and a coffee and, you know.
So, yeah, but Jeff is right that the grab and go business model is the preferred business model for coffee shops. This is weird to me because this says grab and stay. And again, like coffee is a great good if it's high cycle time, but how many $2 Tim Hortons coffees can you sell to people in the coffee shop? You know, like I just, to me, this is more of a PR play and an awareness play, I think, and maybe an opportunity for Tim's to connect with Tencent and figure out if there's other mutual opportunities here. But I don't like this.
How do you feel about Taylor's comment here? Because I like this. Look at Esports Arena and Walmart. Same idea in a way.
Totally different business model. What has IKEA taught you? Get people to stick around. They buy more. This is a totally different parallel. That is. But
wouldn't you buy more if you're at Tim Hortons for like 4 hours?
Again, it's counterpoint. So, I mean, like, yes, maybe you get another $2 coffee out of someone, but that's not worth all the additional real estate and space and expense and maintenance, right? If you got somebody to stick around at a Walmart, who knows what else they might buy? Walmart's huge and it sells everything. And the longer you're in there, the more stuff you notice. That's the IKEA innovation and why IKEA opened restaurants. And it works for businesses that are more experiential and event driven. Again, I think Jeff's right. Coffee shop, the preferred model. Like if Starbucks wanted to keep you around for forever, right? Like if that was how they made all their money, and Starbucks has probably figured out coffee, I think they would not, like, they would do their business very differently. They wouldn't allow, for example, app ordering in advance, right? Because they want you to come in and have the experience of interacting with the barista and get comfortable and cozy up in a chair while you wait for your coffee to be made. And no, Starbucks wants you in and out. And yeah, they have a third place, but even I think recently Starbucks has been de-emphasizing the third place stuff. Like they're doing more stores, smaller format, you know, no.
The other thing about Walmart, I mean, I don't know how well those esports arenas in Walmart have done. I would be curious if anyone does have some info there. But Walmarts are also massive boxes, and the areas where Walmarts are, they are sort of like, that is a place where people go. You know, it's very different than when I'm picturing a Tim Hortons. I'm picturing like in a city, sort of a crowded piece of real estate. Walmart, you have the space. The rent is probably very cheap. You know, at Tim Hortons, where they typically are, it's just the economics, I think, are not going to be the same.
Keep in mind, for other than like downtown Toronto, Montreal, or Vancouver, a lot of Canada is really spread out, right? There's a lot of like Tim Hortons that are just there next to a gas station or something, right? Like, where's Lindsay when we need her?
Yeah. Talking about how great the gas station LAN centers are. I just don't understand rural America and rural Canada, I guess.
Ramsey says, yeah, there's a major culture difference for coffee shops internationally. For example, the Tim Hortons in the UAE is more of a social spot similar to Starbucks. Yeah, it's like that in Canada too, Ramsey. So coffees also sell for $7 to $8 there. I don't drink coffee, but I don't know if it's that expensive in Canada, but that it's definitely more premium these days. Taylor says, if you have a parent that needs to study or relax a while with a coffee while their kid plays a game for a while, it works the day away. I mean, true. I don't know how many. Do you guys buy that use case, or is it too niche?
It feels a little niche. I mean, actually, as I'm saying, is I could probably understand if this was a WeWork and it was like literally this is where people actually go to work, and then there was a daycare center that created a LAN center, and maybe that's actually a pretty good model to consider, sort of thing. But that's just a daycare center. I don't know if that use case is widespread enough where it makes sense to put in what is a pretty serious capital commitment, right? To build a LAN center, it's going to cost you a few $100,000.
You have to be careful that what you're trying to do is not modernize an existing business model rather than invent a new business model. So the counterpoint I would give here is, if that argument worked, why don't coffee shops have built-in movie theaters? Because kids can come and watch TV and the parent can chill out, with a no, they don't have it because it's not an efficient use of space. It's not the core business model. It's a cycle time business. So no. Sorry,
I got dragged to Tim Hortons a lot by my mom. So I would have appreciated a LAN center in the Tim Hortons, but I mean, maybe that's just me. Cause I did spend a lot of time, and I know my mom watches these, so I probably would have enjoyed the Tim Hortons
coffee, more money there, or no?
She was going to drink her Tim Hortons coffee no matter what. John says, Paul said it. This is the value of a place to sit. Basically, everyone is playing Honor of Kings in China all the time anyway. So this is a way of differentiating and making a cool space to do it. Yeah, I don't think it's much more complicated than that. On your own or with friends, and you get game-themed rewards. Remember, in China, it's all WeChat and Alipay-based payments, and people are used to getting all kinds of promos, rewards through that. That's actually an interesting angle, working it sort of into the cultural and sort of everyday fabric. This is what you said here exactly, which are now going to promote Tencent games in Tim Hortons. Sorry for the run-on. I follow esports in China. I think you guys hit on the new NPPA regs earlier, but I was AFK. John, I'm be curious to get your thoughts on that when you go back and watch it. If you do, would love to hear them.